Yo, what it do? What it do? We back at y'all. We back at it. Y'all already know it's the whole of podcast. Reloaded back in effect. I'm here with the boys. You already know it's your boy Midan.
It's your boy Phil.
Boy, you're raw.
Well, Hans.
You already know we got Hans checking back in with us. Hans was a part of the original pod, but he wasn't with us the first couple episodes, so we're looking that boy back. But other than that, we coming off a crazy weekend in sports. We got the wild card games that took place this weekend, and then also the Natty that happened yesterday. We're recording this Tuesday, the 12th.
Mm-hmm.
So, first and foremost, like to check up on y'all. How y'all boys' weekend was?
My weekend was good, man. You know me, I'm a Bama fan, so it was a great weekend.
I bet it was.
Man, for me, it was good. It was a good little weekend, good little football going on. So I was proud.
I guess. What about you, Solo?
It was straight, CJ McCollum showing he Kobe yesterday.
See, they ain't gonna lie. The last part, they didn't know you was a Blazers fan. Well, so now they know. We got a Blazers fan. We got a Dolphins fan. All right, for sure. We got a Lakers fan too. I'm sure. But now, though, like I say, though, we're going to talk about this crazy weekend in sports. We just had a crazy NFL wildcard weekend. A lot of good games. So, 12 teams played?
Yes, sir.
12 teams played.
Games.
A lot of games, a lot of upsets in a way. A lot of games we didn't think was going to go that way, but it went that way. You got the Colts. The Colts had a hard one with the Bills. They ended up losing, but to the Bills by 3. Allen doing what he do. Of course, we got the Ravens upsetting the Seahawks. That was a big upset. Of course, you got Tom Brady.
You mean the Rams, though? The Rams upset the Seahawks.
The Rams and Seahawks.
Yeah.
We're going to edit that part. Then you got the Rams and Seahawks, that big upset for a weekend as well, especially with Jared getting hurt and Russell not doing what he do. Anyway, but then you got the Bucks and the Redskins too. You got the old and the new guard. Tom Brady trying to get him another ring in the belt, and then Washington trying to do what they do. Then of course probably one of the biggest matchups in my opinion the weekend, which is the Ravens and the Titans. Lamar was able to get his first ring. Then you got the Bears and the Saints with Drew Brees trying to do what he do one more last time before he get up out of here, and then Mitch Trubisky and the Bears. And then the Browns did what they had to do, shutting everybody up, putting it on their back, and beating the Steelers after those TikToking and dancing and all that. So like I said, it was a pretty busy weekend, but some games that we want to talk about. We could talk about the Rams and the Seahawks first, because like I said, that was one of the upsets. I'm pretty sure all of us had the Seahawks winning that game.
Yeah, I mean, that game was crazy. The Rams came out there with Wolford, and he got hurt, and then they brought in a broken Jared Goff. He had the messed up thumb, and then the Seahawks still couldn't do it. Russell Wilson was 11 of 27 for 174 and 2 touchdowns. In a playoff game, that's just not gonna cut it. That's just not gonna cut it. And they couldn't stop the run. They went and traded.
I stopped looking at fantasy, bro, because that shit was fucking me up, bro.
They went and traded 2 first-round picks with Jamal Adams, and they couldn't stop the run. That's supposed to be his big thing, sacking and being in the run support. And they couldn't do it. So I think they got a lot of questions this offseason where they want to go.
Of course, it's always a lot of questions. So what y'all, I kind of want more to talk about like the Seahawks, though. Like you said, like they didn't spend all that cheese. They didn't got Jamal Adams. They took away some picks. My thing to y'all is, how do y'all feel about them going forward? Because, like, this is kind of like a in-the-middle loss. Like, they kind of invested a lot of money in Russell Wilson. So, like, what do y'all think kind of, like, as far as, like, them going ahead, what they should do? Because, like I say, they can't really guard nobody because the Rams not no crazy offensive team how they used to be. So, what y'all think?
I feel like the first thing they need to work on is defense for the D-line. They weren't getting no pressure to the Rams last game in the playoffs. And I feel like have Adams as your main focus and work around him since he's the best player on your team. So, I don't know.
But you, Han Solo, what you think about it?
Yeah, their defense is trash. They got to fix their line because even like Jared Goff and the backup who got injured, they didn't even rip it like that.
They
didn't. That's what I'm saying. It was kind of like a little ugly game by the looks of it on both sides.
Cam Akers ran for 131, 28 carries. He ate. it was just the Seahawks defense is trash, and Russell Wilson also isn't playing good either.
At all.
Yeah, I don't know what happened
I
to
don't
him. Like
know.
the last 6 games, he started playing really bad. I noticed that. Like the last 6 games, first couple games, he was giving me MVP vibes. Then he started downfalling for real, for real.
Yeah,
I
it was
don't know.
just he just kind of like he peaked early and then it was just downhill from there.
Yeah, but like I say, so just so we could talk about a little bit more about the Rams. As far as the Rams, did y'all feel like? First of all, y'all feel like because who they play next round?
Oh, they play
Next round they got the Packers.
Packers.
Packers. I like them to get smashed. What about y'all?
I think it's the same thing. I
they'll get destroyed.
I think against that Seahawks defense, they got a lot. The Seahawks gave up a lot. Jared Goff still looked hurt. He was definitely missed on. He hit on a lot of passes, but he missed on a couple, and you don't blame him. He had a broken thumb. He wasn't even supposed to be starting the game. So I think Green Bay is gonna see what happened to the Seahawks, adjust, and make it happen. It might be a little closer than what we think, but in the end, I think Green Bay gonna have it. Gonna be a sort of comfortable win.
Yeah, I agree with Phillip. I feel like Packers gonna beat the Rams because I feel like Rams don't have the matchup for the Green Bay offense with Aaron Rodgers. Because Devontae Adams, boy, he put on MVP numbers. A-Rod put on MVP numbers, so it's like I don't think Rams could compete with that. Even though they got Jalen Ramsey on them boys, Aaron Donald, I don't feel like they go beat the Packers.
One thing about the Rams though is they got the best defense in the league, so you can't just count them out. I mean, I do think the Packers are going to win too.
Yeah, but
the Rams defense is crazy, and sometimes this season we've seen games where Cooper Kupp and Robert Woods, they go crazy. There's some games where they go crazy.
Do you believe in what's his name, Goff?
Well, he's hurt right now, so I don't know.
So they got the backup coming in.
The backup hurt too.
The backup's hurt. Is he on concussion protocol?
I believe so.
Who's gonna play?
It's gonna be Goff. But he gonna have to play hurt.
Exactly.
They ain't got nobody else.
Nah, ain't nobody trying to watch that game, bro. Goff ain't gonna be playing for real, bro.
Yeah, he got a broken thumb, so
maybe we'll see. Packers probably gonna win, but maybe
a
couple takeaways from the Rams. You never know.
So you're gonna be close?
I think it'll be close, yeah.
Okay.
I don't think it's gonna be a blowout, 20-30, but I think it's gonna be 2 possessions.
I said 10. I said 10.
10-14, I think.
10.
Yeah, I think a low scoring too.
I feel that. I could say the 10. Okay. So let's get into the next team that we kind of wanted to talk about. We could say that one for the end because that was funny. But boy LJ, Crib's finest. You already know getting his first playoff dub under his belt. Being King Henry and the Titans in a tight one, a super tight one. Basically 20-13, rough round and pound game. We kind of knew it was gonna be a low scoring game. I kind of see it being I didn't think 20-13. I was gonna say maybe 30-20. But yeah, we kind of got what we want. They was able to kind of neutralize Henry in a way. So how y'all felt about that game? To me, that was the game that I was the most interested in. That I kind of locked into the most because I wanted to root for my boy LJ. So how y'all felt about that game?
For me, I think the Titans. I think the Titans got a lot to think about this offseason. They love Ryan Tannehill and then of course they love Derrick Henry. But what happens when Derrick Henry can't run the ball? That means you gotta throw Tannehill back there and have him, play quarterback. Have him pick apart people because all they do, their offense is literally run the ball with Derrick Henry and then play action and hit somebody intermediate. But what happens when you gotta actually throw? You gotta go through your first, your second, and your third read and hit the open man. That's where they lose. And their offense, their playbook only runs one page. It looks like a 1-page playbook. Right, run, play action, hit somebody 10 to 15 yards down the field. They didn't open it up. So I think that's why they lost. They didn't lose because they stopped Derrick Henry. They lost because they couldn't throw the ball.
They couldn't find the ways to score.
They couldn't find all the ways to score. And for the Ravens, man, I think it was a little shaky for them on offense. Right, Lamar still didn't really pass the ball in a dynamic way, but they did enough. He did what he had to do, and your best weapon isn't the passing game for them. It's Lamar's legs, and he used that to his advantage, and that's how they won the game. But shout out to their defense for stopping arguably the best running back in the league, King Henry.
That's fact.
Yeah, I kind of agree with Philo. Titans, they really, really, really struck on running the ball, and that's like their main go-to. But I feel like Titans, they have the weapons to like win games, like more games in the playoffs, but they just always want to run the ball and do play action Ryan Tannehill. I feel like they had to open their playbook more. And they got good receivers. They got a good O-line. They had the best running back in the league. So they just give Ryan Tannehill more room to like throw the ball down the field. I feel like they could be something in the future. And for the Ravens, getting the game, they started shaking. LJ wasn't really doing this thing like he normally do. But the fourth quarter came, them boys, they tightened up. LJ with a big run to score. Not gonna lie, that was very big. But next round, I hope they do good. Who they play next round? What, the Chiefs?
They play the Bills. I don't like them.
They play the Bills.
I don't like
it.
I
kind of like them. I like it.
I don't like it.
I don't know. We'll see.
I don't like it. Don't like it.
I feel like the Ravens and Lamar Jackson, the good thing about Lamar's game was that he threw that terrible pick in the beginning. And then he picked himself back up. And another thing about him is that he's been trying to get better as a thrower. He's been kind of going away from that whole running thing he does, but that's what makes him him. And once he ran and got broke through, they can't catch him.
I agree, Hans.
They couldn't catch him.
Facts.
The safeties couldn't get to him, even though they had the angle. They couldn't get to him because he was already gone. Like, they started too late, their run. So he needs to stick to what he's good at, try and get better at throwing the football, but don't get away from that. And it's also like he showed his perseverance, not getting down on himself, kind of like Tua did a couple of weeks ago. After that pick.
That's funny, dog. Hey, this is why I be wanting Hans on, because Hans so funny, bro.
I mean, it's good. Like, after you throw a pick, quarterbacks like get in their own heads, and Lamar and Tua stayed with it.
Oh, stop. Nah, that's
I also think the Ravens need better receivers, too. Like, more elite receivers. I don't know. To help them out.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Nah, that's facts. I mean, I gotta say, all the things I always say about Lamar, he's a gamer. That's like, it's not gonna be pretty all the time. It's not gonna be all highlight woody-woo, but he a gamer, bro. He's gonna try and win. Like Hans saying, like I said, he could have easily, he threw that bad pick. They ended up, they started the game off real bad, so
they were down.
He could have easily kind of fell into himself, but nah, that was. Plus, it's a lot of pressure on him too. I feel like in a way. I feel like he gets a lot of unwarranted pressure, which makes sense though.
I mean, yeah.
So, hold on, I wanted to ask a question though, because y'all kind of brought up some points. So do y'all feel like with the Titans is more of a coaching thing instead of a personnel thing?
Yeah, I think it's coaching. I think it's there. I mean, it makes sense. You have the best running back in the league, and you have a damn good O-line. So run the ball all day and day. But you got to have a balance in the playoffs. You got to have a balance. That's kind of where their losses have come. Their losses hasn't come because, Derrick Henry not playing good. It's because they can't open it up in the passing game. Because they like Rail said earlier, they got weapons. Corey Davis, AJ Brown. They got people to throw the ball to. It's just a matter of, calling the plays to put those guys in the right positions to catch the ball instead of coming off a play action. I think that's what it is. I think they don't have a deep enough playbook when it comes to the passing game.
No, it's fast. Yeah. I had said that in the chat too. I was like, ain't gonna lie. It's like the Ravens got 3 plays and then the Titans got 2. The Ravens got 3 plays. Both that. That's why I said it was an ugly game. So you said next round they play the Bills.
Yeah. I don't like it.
Oh no, Josh Allen and them boys have been hot lately.
I don't like it at all.
The Bills got that. I'm not gonna lie to you.
You think Bills got that?
I don't know. I think the Ravens got it though, low key.
The Ravens defense have been on point.
Stephon.
They got kind of healthy. Their defense got healthy. They got Campbell and the boys back. I don't know.
If LJ start running the ball like he did last game, I feel like Bills can't stop him. I'm sorry.
Like you say, bro, I do think they need more. Not Dez Bryant, no offense, Dez Bryant, but they need better deep threats. Even though the Lamar's not accurate like that yet, I feel like it'll help his development if you put him around people who gonna kind of like, you know, people who good at the position still or like above average. You know, I feel like that'll help his development a little faster.
I agree.
So, getting back to the good game, the Browns and the Steelers, Corvette versus Baker. I already know how that went. Browns up 28-0 in the first quarter. End up winning 48-37 in the game. I feel like a lot of people was watching that game from the social media aspect. You know, you got Juju barking doing what he do. So you be like, okay, let's see what Baker's going to do. Baker first playoff game. You see going to fold. Boy's first time making playoffs since 2002. We was like, 3-4 years old. So I just want to think about how y'all feel about the Browns' performance and then also why y'all think the Steelers folded.
All right. So for me, I've always think the Steelers were a fraudulent team. You know, they've had a cupcake schedule. And then it was towards the end of the season where they finally showed their true colors, you know, and it came out again in full fashion today. Big Ben had a typical Big Ben game. He threw for 500 yards, 47 completions, 4 touchdowns. Then he also had 4 picks. You know what I mean?
I was like, what? Jet could have ripped it without the picks.
And then if you in a playoff game, you can't throw 4 picks and win. It's just not gonna cut it. Then their defense, that's supposed to be that's their seller, you know, their defense. That's their big. That's what got them to 11 wins.
My defensive player of the year was on there.
Mm-hmm. It wasn't their offense that did it. It was their defense. Their offense rolled off their defense. So, and the defense couldn't stop the run. Couldn't stop Nick Chubb. Couldn't stop Kareem Hunt. I know when they crowded the box, try to stop both of them, or you know either one, depending on who was in the game. That Baker just threw it right over them to Jarvis and, you know, to even to Nick Chubb sometimes, Austin Hooper and Rashad Higgins. You know, that's the type of offense that the Titans need to replicate going forward. You know, they run that's how the Browns play. They run the ball. They run the ball all the goddamn day. But then when you try to stop the run, you know, you get too excited about the run, Baker can dot it. And you know, I think going forward, that's going to, you know, they're going to be dangerous. They're going to be dangerous going forward.
Man, me from personally, I feel like they lost because of Big Ben. Man threw 4 interceptions. That's not going to cut it in the playoff at all. I don't care who you play. And then when the second half came, he stopped throwing interceptions. That's why they came back in the game. I feel like the defense, they did a job, not really their best job, but they did a job. Because the Browns only had 390 yards. I feel like that's okay. That's all right. It's good, but it's like, I feel they lost because of Big Ben throwing 4 interceptions. I feel like that's not good in the playoffs at all.
Yeah, I think the offense is what messed him up because those 4 picks, right? He throws a pick and then it leaves a defensive backfield position. And I mean,
exactly.
Like the defense couldn't get any stops. Like they didn't stop him from getting into the end zone, but it doesn't help that they're getting the ball like at the 50-yard line, or they get the ball back and the ball's in the end zone because of a bad snap.
I don't want to cut you off on real quick, but yeah, like you just said, them boys were tired. It was on the field like the whole game. So yeah, of course. Go ahead. And
also, I mean, they had injuries. Like Dupree got injured in the season, so they were missing their linebacker. But they're ass. That 10-0 record. That 10-0 record was a fraudulent situation. Like they shouldn't have been 10-0. The only good team they beat was, I think, the Browns in that schedule, and that's when the Browns weren't clicking yet. So I mean, shout out to them for 10-0, but they're ass.
Nah, that's facts. I think bro from the crib, who played for them too, Devin Bush, he's hurt too, I think.
Yeah, he's also hurt.
I think I remember he got hurt like early on, right?
But salute to Baker though.
You said what?
Salute to Baker though. He played good though.
Baker's the truth.
Nah, bro, that's facts. I agree basically what all y'all said. Like, especially the part with the Steelers. I feel like, first of all, Big Ben is throwing the ball 60-something times. That means that obviously you didn't decide to run the ball, so they don't got no run game. Now that I see for real, because at first, when they went 11, I'm like, okay, a lot of these boys probably can take the Chiefs. Until I had to really, I had to sit and watch it, like watching for real. Like, yeah, these boys don't. Like I say, they receivers hit and miss. Big Ben, he not there no more, and they don't got no run game. I think that's really what it is. It's like Phil said, you gotta have a balance. It's like, and like Rupon said, defense on the field, you throwing 4 picks, bro. And like you say, them things was in the first half. It's not like it was kind of like throughout the duration of the game, so you kind of put yourself in a hole. Like they probably could have still won the game. To be honest,
they could have.
Like I don't even like those 500 yards he threw for. Like that's garbage time yards.
It didn't mean nothing, bro.
So, like I think the Browns came out the second half like we got this dub. Like especially because they're a young team, they don't have that much experience in the playoffs. But so they probably weren't trying too hard. Then they turned up at the end when they saw the Steelers were getting in within 2 touchdowns. So I mean, those 500 yards, he played ass. I don't care how many yards he had. He had 4 picks.
I also feel like Juju saying the Browns are the Browns. I felt like they gave the Browns even more hype to play even better.
Yeah, you little fire on them, bro. That's the one thing you can't do in battle. A lot of fire under somebody. Don't never give nobody no extra motivation.
Yeah, that's we call that whiteboard material, man. You giving us stuff to write on the whiteboard. You know, you want to say the Browns is the Browns. Remember that every time you walk out the practice facility.
I like that. Nobody say that's whiteboard material.
That's what that is, man. You can't be doing that, man. You keep your mouth shut and show up on game day. So,
that's facts.
And
the next game they play the Chiefs,
and that's where it all comes crashing down. That's where it all comes crashing down. Cause
I told you I like them boys compete with them boys, so I don't think it's gonna be a skunk deal.
No, hell no. I don't think it's gonna be a skunk.
I don't know. Me personally, I feel like it'll be a smash field.
Nah, I don't think it's gonna be a smashing because I think the Browns could score and the Chiefs defense been sus all year. It's just that I think what I think this game gonna come down to is who gonna keep scoring, who gonna score more. And if you had to tell me to pick between the Browns offense and the Chiefs offense to put up more points, I'll tell you what, man, I'm gonna go ahead and pick the Chiefs.
Like for me personally, my bad, me dog.
No, go ahead. I'm just saying it's kind of.
Me personally, Baker played a heck of a good game last week. But can he do it again? I don't know. I feel like it's still shaky for me for Baker. I don't know. I don't really trust him that much though.
Yeah, you on him. You're heavy credit. You gotta see him. I'm saying, so look, if he beat the Chiefs, is he the one?
He the one. I guess so, yeah.
He don't got no choice.
But he can't have no ass game like just what Ben just did. 4 picks, 4 touchdowns. You can't do that though.
I feel that. Now, like I said, I don't think it's gonna be just for the simple fact that they can run the ball. I just feel like it's gonna be close. Yeah,
it's gonna be a shootout.
Think it's gonna be a shootout.
I don't think it's gonna be close, but I think it's gonna be a shootout. I think it's gonna be close in the first half, and then Kansas City might break away in the second half. But I think it's gonna be higher scoring. They're gonna run the ball. They're gonna get some touchdowns. So we'll see.
Nah, that's facts. That's a tough one. So, like I said, what else? So then also, just to go over the couple more matchups we got coming up, we talked about who Cleveland going to play. We talked about who the Ravens going to have to play. And we talked about who the Rams going to have to play. So the Rams, based on the wild card now, we got...
Yeah, the one we ain't talk about yet is the old man game. You know?
Yeah, that's how I'm looking at now, the old man game.
Old man game, the Elders Bowl.
He said the Elders Bowl. I seen the little picture that boy posted. I don't like that though, man. Don't be posting pictures before y'all play them, man.
Like time to be all nice and shit.
Yeah, Bucks versus Saints.
Oh man.
He lucky be probably playing mind games. He probably let me think it's buddy. And we play pop. I go to die in it. But now, what y'all think about that game? To be honest, I ain't gonna lie. I'll go against the grain and really choose Tampa Bay just because they've been hot.
For me, I think Tom Brady and the Bucks also been sus all year. You know, they really don't have. If you look at their schedule, man, they're 11-5. Those 11 dubs, I'm pretty sure 10 out of 11 all came against subpar teams. You know, when they played the good teams, the better teams, they lost. That's where their 5 losses came from. So, I think they're gonna have issues against the Saints defense because a lot of people like to talk about the Saints defense, but they're damn good defense. They're gonna give them problems, and then I'm gonna trust Drew in the playoffs. I think when it came down to it against the good teams, they performed even without Drew Brees. They performed, and that includes the Bucks because they beat them twice. What's stopping them from doing it the third time? You know, so that's my take on that.
I feel you.
For me personally, it's up in the air for me because like Bucks been hot lately. They've been snapping. even though Saints just won the playoff game against the Bears barely. And also, Saints beat the Bucks twice in the regular season. But it's like recently, I don't really like the Saints offense. Like even when Hill was in the game, a couple weeks ago, like they really can't even score, especially against my Falcons. They barely beat us, and that's just. And also the Bucks, Tom Brady, when he plays this good team, he don't really show up like he's supposed to. But it's like for me, I don't know who's gonna win it. I might pick the Bucks because their defense is a little bit better to me personally. So I don't know.
I feel like it's hard. It's hard to bet against Tom Brady, but the Saints have beat him twice. And once you play that third time, the Saints have all the confidence in the world. Like they're going to that game thinking they're going to win, and they have every reason to think. And the Bucks, I bet you there's some players in the locker room thinking it's going to be they're going to have a rough time. So I don't want to bet against Tom Brady, but when you lose twice in a row to the same team in one season, I think it's hard to win that third game. So I'd probably pick the Saints, but I don't know. And the Saints also been really good because even when Drew Brees was out, they were still winning games. They're just a well.
I mean, they were winning games, but they were barely winning. But you're right though, they were winning games, but they were.
They're a well-oiled machine, bro.
I'll say this. I'll make quick two quick points for y'all. The whole season, Mike Thomas been out the whole season. He didn't really come back till that last playoff game just now. And when he did come back, Drew Brees was out in the regular season. So that was the first game really that Kamara, Mike Thomas, and Drew Brees all been on the field together. So them two games, versus the Bucks where they beat them, Mike Thomas wasn't there. You know what I mean? He gonna be back. That's another problem that the Bucks didn't have to face in them two previous games, and now they're gonna have a real problem. So I just don't think they got it, man. And then when I mentioned earlier about the Bucks schedule, I'm looking at it right now. They have 5 losses, right? Those losses came against the Saints twice, the Bears for the third one, then the Rams and the Chiefs. And then the only good win I think they had, looking at the schedule against like a good team, is that they beat the Packers.
They beat Green Bay. I was about to say, I think they beat Green Bay like the beginning of the season.
They smoked Green Bay. They beat the Packers 38-10. Right? That I give them that. But after that, like I said, the other teams that they played were all pancakes. Lions, Falcons twice, Vikings, Lions, Raiders,
and
Chargers, Broncos,
40-3 or something. They beat breaks off the Lions.
Yeah, it was 47-7. So I think that I just don't think they got it. I think they're a very suspect team.
Okay. I'm gonna go ahead and let them take them because, like I say, and kind of like based off what I've kind of learned, I feel like the playoffs is about the hottest team. I feel like the playoffs is about the teams that got the most momentum going in. I feel like I feel like Tampa just got a lot of groove. I ain't like that. It was an ugly win against Chicago to me personally. They was gonna win because Mitch Trubisky, they not better than Drew Brees. But just the fact that they lost, just the fact that they won like that, I don't know. I feel like it was still too close. And like you said, they got injuries coming back, so I feel like their offense isn't clicking how they should while Tampa is kind of rolling. So that's kind of why I'm looking at it like that from that spectrum,
It's going to be a close game, though.
Yeah, it's going to be a good one, though. It's definitely going to be a good one. Just like the game that we saw last night. You already know. The Natty Bowl, the grand finale, the Ohio State versus the almighty, all-knowing Alabama. But anyway, yeah, Alabama versus Ohio State. Final score 52-24. Devontae Smith, Heisman winner, you already know, did what he was supposed to do. So I just wanted to get y'all take on that game. And, obviously, it's going to lead into our next topic. But I don't know. Do you guys feel like Ohio State was – I'm not going to say competition, not to, disrespect them. But do you feel like they did everything they could to put themselves in a position to win?
For me, I think that game was over from kickoff. You know what I mean?
Since kickoff?
Since kickoff. Since Justin Fields – Justin Fields wasn't that wasn't the electrifying Justin Fields that that Ohio State fans know and love. He was hurt. So that means he ran a little bit at the end, but he couldn't really run and take off and be dangerous like we know he can. Because when you look back at history, the teams that beat Bama historically all have mobile quarterbacks. You know, we go down to Johnny Manziel, we go down to Cam Newton, we go down to Joe Burrow, who's mobile in his own right. You know, it's usually those type of quarterbacks that give us problems because we usually play with big, slow linebackers. You know what I mean? And they can't keep up and contain the quarterback. And we like to play a lot of man, which means we turn our back. And Justin Fields doesn't provide that enough. And then it becomes a matchup game on the outside at that point. Their receivers couldn't match up well enough against our DBs, and they couldn't run the ball. They ran the ball well, but they couldn't run the ball enough to overpower us, to overpower our D-line and our front seven. So, and then, when you come back on offense, we got too many weapons, man. When you got 3 people that finish top 5 in Heisman voting, there's just nothing you could do. It's a lost cause.
Yeah, I don't know. Me, I already know the game's going to be a blowout. Bro.
Let him tell it. He said he knew. Before the game, I was like, real, give me Ohio State. I like Ohio State. I'm glad I ain't
Ohio State. It's like they're a very good team. Don't get me wrong. But Bama, it's just from head to toe, that team is complete. Like, complete.
Roll Tide.
And I hate you. But it's like, me personally, I don't think Ohio State should have been in the playoffs, even though it's a good team. Because they only played, 6 games. So I feel like that's not fair. It's going to lead to the next topic. But, Bama, they just too dominant, bro. It's just Bama. Nothing I can say about it. That's what I got to watch.
Bro, I think when you watched that game last night, you saw that, there were some players on the Ohio State team that never going to the NFL. And there's some players on the Bama team they're going to run the NFL.
You can't say that. You can't say that.
Bro, there was on one of Devontae Smith's touchdowns where it was just a long it was a long route straight down the middle, and there was a free safety in the back. And he knows Devontae's coming, and the linebacker is trailing Devontae. And instead of helping his linebacker, he goes left to God knows where to cover some other Devontae Smith. Devontae's wide open for a touchdown. Bro, what are you doing? How are you in the championship game?
Bro, I saw that. I think that was number 32, too. I believe that was number 32.
The linebacker did his job. A lot of people are getting on the linebacker, but he did his job. It was his job to play that deep middle and cover anything intermediate. Right? It wasn't his job to cover over the top. That was he had safety help, and the safety went wrong. After all the people on the field, the one person you want to make sure you double team is Devontae Smith.
Yeah, and Najee Harris is a beast too. He was eating everything. They stopped him a couple times, but he got his.
He got his. Nah, he definitely got his. You talking about he got his? That boy Smitty gonna look so good in that green and orange.
Oh yeah.
Nah, that boy Smitty. What Smitty did?
Smitty had 12 for 215 and 3 touchdowns at halftime.
12 for 215
at halftime.
Come on, bro.
Yeah, because he got hurt.
Yeah, if Smitty stayed the whole game, he would have decimated every single receiving championship record in college football history.
Matt Jones had 464 yards passing. Come on, bro.
No, yeah.
They had no match. There's no chance.
36 for 47. So they only missed 9 passes. I ain't gonna lie, bro. They could have hung 70 up.
Bro, we put our backup quarterback in the game, man.
They put a center that wasn't supposed to be playing.
That's how you know we had leeway. We put our center that tore his ACL into the game so he can get a couple snaps off.
The matchup was not there, bro.
Yeah,
it was not there.
Ohio State just couldn't compete. That game was over.
They cannot, bro.
Before it started.
Nah, that's facts, though. That's facts. So I want to talk to y'all about this too, because more so, Phil. I don't know. I was just talking to all y'all about it because I kind of seen the thing after the game yesterday. They were saying that this was the largest margin of victories that Alabama's had for the duration of the season, ever. They won every game by 14 or more, except the game against Florida.
Mm-hmm.
And they still have over 600 yards. So they talking about this being one of the best Alabama teams ever. So I just want to see how y'all feel about that, because they kind of they blasted everybody,
For me, y'all know me. I'm a Bama fan all the way through, die hard. I've been watching Bama. I've been watching Bama for a decade now. and all our teams before the Lane Kiffin era have all been the same. You know, we run the ball, and we hit a play action to the best wide receiver we got, whether it was Julio, whether it was Kevin Ridley, whether it was Amari Cooper. You know what I mean? That's how Alabama played. And when our defense was big and we used to hit, you know, that was how Alabama played football. Run, play action pass, kind of like the Titans. And then the Lane Kiffin era came. Then we opened it up. Then we started recruiting better quarterbacks. We started recruiting more than just one elite wide receiver. And
y'all started cheating.
You can say that if you want to. And then if you look at it now, this team was the best of both worlds when it come to that. We had the stout defense. We had the big guys up front, and we had the strong DBs in the back, like Pat Surtain or Pat Sitton, like I like to call them. And then we had the elite group of wide receivers. Smitty, Waddle before he got hurt. Slade Bolden did his thing. Yeah, Floristall at tight end. And then we didn't go away from the running game. We still had the big ass unfair running back. Najee Harris, 6'2", 230. That's not a running back. When you mix that, it's the best of both worlds on both sides of the ball. This is probably our best team that Nick Saban has ever coached.
Best team.
I agree too.
I mean, I think so.
What about you, Hans?
I mean, I haven't been watching Bam for that long. As Philip, that team yesterday was on crack. It was not fair. It was really not fair. It was not fair. So people saying that, people saying they're better than the LSU team from last year, or the most dominant, or more dominant than the LSU team.
That's a good question. That's a good question, though.
That's the debate on Twitter right now. I
don't know though, because LSU had that quarter. I could argue LSU receivers last year was better. Yeah. If you really want to go there, you can argue that.
Yeah, because that Justin Jefferson and Jamar Chase, them boys is unstoppable. But our defense was shambolic last year, and it's been a lot better this year.
That's what I'm about to say. Yeah.
So
I think it'll be a good game.
I think it'll be a lot better game than it was last year. Even though Bama only lost by 5 last year, it was. I think this year would have been a little bit. It might have went down a little differently.
I would say that. I'll take the Bama team. I'm gonna lie. I'll take the Bama team this year.
I would too.
Because I just seen them recently. That's the only reason why. So, kind of going into this, because I know you guys want to talk about this too. So about the playoff scheduling, about how the games are played, the repetition within the playoff scheduling, things like that. I was just figuring, do you guys feel like it's enjoyable watching the college football playoffs like how it is now?
I'm not the person to ask that question because I'm a Bama fan and we made the playoffs every year, so of course it's enjoyable for me. But as a football fan, as a fan of football, it's definitely not enjoyable. I think it should be extended from 4 to 6. 8 is a big stretch for me because it's football, man. You can't be playing.
Yeah, all those games.
You can't be playing all those games. There's going to be a lot of injuries. So I think from 4 to 6 is good. You give the top 2 teams a bye, and you take it from there. I think that's how it should be. So the same 3 or 4 teams don't make it every year. Like Cincinnati, man, it was undefeated. They could deserve a playoff shout. So
Coastal, come on.
So I think from 4 to 6 is 6 is the perfect number. Top 2 teams get a bye, and then take it from there.
Yeah.
Okay.
Y'all boys agree?
Yeah, I was about to say, me personally, playoffs was not really fun to me. Past couple of years, 4 years they've been doing it? 3?
Sheesh, 4. But you watched every year.
Yes, I do. But it's like, the playoff committee, they biased to me, very biased, because it's the same 4 teams. Even though the teams are good, it's the same 4 teams. And the games don't really be interesting to me personally. Every year, Ohio State. Not every year, but most of the time they'll go. Every year, Bama's going to be there. Clemson's going to be there every year. It's like, and then, most of the teams in the top 10, I'm not saying they would beat Alabama, but they kind of, put up a good fight, you feel me? Also, Ohio State only played 6 games this year. I don't think that's fair to these teams like
7. Well,
Cincinnati. Yeah, I'm just saying Cincinnati, who went 9-1, Georgia, who played in the SEC 8-2. Like, I don't think it's fair to me personally that Ohio State made it. Even though they have a good team, I don't think they should have made it to the playoffs.
So who you think should take their spot? Not to cut you off.
I would put Texas A&M 9-1. The first time they played Bama was a pretty decent game. They couldn't compete with them in the championship game. I don't know.
I feel you. About you, Solo, what you think?
I agree with Bro. I think the committee is biased. I don't know. Like he says, I don't understand why Ohio State was in there. Like they didn't play enough games. Like they won those games, but they didn't play enough games. And like I don't want to blame them because it's COVID's fault. But at the same time, it's like you got to win your games. Like you got to win enough games to prove you're the best team in the country, or like a top 4 team in the country. One thing I will give the playoffs though is that the championship game is usually always entertaining, no matter who the 2 teams are, and usually the best team always ends up winning the chip.
That is true. That's definitely true.
But then they can definitely work on making the games before the championship game more entertaining. Different teams, more teams. I don't know.
Yeah, that was kind of my thing though, because like if Alabama going regardless, is it really that much of a difference? Like, yeah, it'll be more interesting. It'll be kind of like good for teams.
I mean, yeah, they'll win, but it's like I feel like there's better matchups for them.
That's what I was saying. Rel said Texas A&M would have been a better matchup, but week 2 when we played them, it was 52-24. You know what I mean? So that's damn near the same score of the Natty. So I don't know about that. The thing is, you can't. Ohio State, yeah, they only played a couple games, but they knocked off Clemson, man. They knocked off Clemson. You can't make an argument to me that the top 4 teams that finished were not the top 4 teams in the nation, right? You say, yeah, no, you're trying to take Notre Dame out, but who had a better season? Who else had a better season than Notre Dame? Yeah, they got smacked by Bama in the first round, but who had a better season than them to take the 4th spot? You can't put nobody else there. And people wanted to knock Ohio State out, but they went and knocked off Clemson in magnificent fashion. So you can't. What can you do there?
Me personally, I have a bias with Clemson and Notre Dame already because I feel like I've seen them boys play in the ACC because my team is Miami, of course. Yes, they're good. They have great players, but I mean, I don't know. I feel like matchup-wise,
you don't like how they play.
Yeah, I feel like matchup won't entertaining.
I mean, I was on that board too, like, oh, Alabama gonna win every year, woody whoop. I mean, if we want to be honest, bro, it's teams who do be having better recruiting classes, bro. So you kind of got to give it to them boys. Like them boys, like it's been teams that's been like have better players who gotten better players, but them boys know how to win. So yeah, I don't know.
It's a lot of people like to say that, like, hey, yeah, we get all these classes. But the thing is, what makes a good college football team is the coach. And it's consistency at the coaching level. You look at all the best teams, right? It's Clemson. They had Dabo Swinney for years. You know, Ohio State, they just transitioned from Urban Meyer, but he left a damn good program for the new head coach to take over. You know, and then Alabama, of course, Nick Saban. You know, so there's a reason why it's the same couple teams because they have the consistency at the head coaching level.
But Philip, even last year, yeah, teams that 12-2, 12-2, 12-2, but still they made the playoff, bro. Like Georgia, they 12-2. Come on. Oregon, they were 12-2, and like Oklahoma, they made the playoffs, but like they weren't really top 4 teams of college football to me personally. And it's like I don't know, bro. I feel like the playoff committee is really biased. They need to fix it.
I think they need to restrict the amount of 5-star and 4-star recruits a team can have.
You can't do that. I don't know. You can't do that. I don't know.
There's not a lot of people say that too, but if you really look at it, they don't. It's not like they're getting 10, 20 5-star, 4-star recruits. It's like 4 or 5.
I'm saying like
you get, and everybody's getting the same amount because you can't. If you do restrict that,
everybody can't get more than 3.
You'd be forcing these recruits who work their ass off to earn their 5 stars to have to go somewhere else.
Yeah, you can't do that.
No. But they're gonna go to a good school. Like nobody's out here.
No, they won't. You got a 5-star recruit from Alabama right? He was born and raised in Tuscaloosa, and he's a diehard Bama fan. But because Bama already had 3, you're gonna tell this man he got to go to Auburn.
You got to be the better 5-star recruit if you want to
He
go
got
to
to
Bama.
he got to go to Texas. He got to go to some.
Like if Bama didn't pick you as one of their 5-star recruits, go yell at Bama.
No. But you got to think. Some people commit early just because he wanted to. Maybe he wasn't always a 5-star. Maybe Bama already had these recruits from when they were juniors. You know what I mean? And they became 5-stars when they were seniors. So I think you're playing a dangerous game there because after you restrict all the let's say you restrict the top 10 schools, then where the others go? You're gonna tell me I'm gonna have to go to Utah? I'm gonna have to go to Memphis?
How many 5-star recruits are there every year?
Shoot, who knows?
I think it's 30. I believe 30, around 30.
Is it 30?
Something like
It's
that.
around there.
That's what I'm
Yeah.
saying. Just limit everybody to like 3.
Yeah, but that's not fair
And
to
then-
the
No,
kids.
that's not
No,
fair.
like
I'm not gonna lie to you.
like each team, like if you're the best 5-star recruit, you get to pick where you go. But if you
That's still
want to
that's still
go
not
to
fair.
Bama and Bama, listen, we use all our 5-star recruits this year. You got to go somewhere else. Then it is what it is.
No, it's not.
I get what Han's trying to say though. Like,
No,
But
it's not.
look. Every year, like Philip said, each team get a lot of 5-star players, but there's some teams that don't even make it top 15 in the ranking. They lose like 3 games every year. Like it don't matter what type of recruit you get. It's coaching. Coaching
That's
is the
all-
main.
Coaching is the main thing, but
yeah, that's fact.
Because
if
not
you
every
have-
5-star
but if
recruit
you
is
have
hit.
the
If you
better-
think about it, like
if you
Josh
have the
Jacobs
better coach,
was a
that
3-star.
gives you the better recruits.
You said what pick Josh Jacobs was?
Josh Jacobs, the Alabama running back who's balling for the Raiders right now, he was a 3-star recruit, man. So, and Matt Jones wasn't no 5-star. You know what I mean? So
Yeah. No, I feel that. I get what Han's saying from the aspect of kind of even in the playing field, but also like, yeah, you got to kind of like put the humility aspect of it because then that's like kind of vice versa. That's like saying that we can't take that scholarship from you because we already got kids on scholarship. We don't got enough money.
Mm-hmm.
That's a
like
thing, though. They got scholarship cap.
yeah, no, they do. You have a certain number of scholars you can give out, and
You do, yeah.
But to restrict, it's one thing to say, hey, you can't recruit all these 5-stars, but it's another thing to tell a young man, because he didn't pick his 5-stars. You know, this man was just out there doing his thing in high school. To tell him like, hey, you can't go to your favorite school because they already got too many 5-stars. Not because they don't want you, not because they don't have the space, but
It's not that
because
they got too many. Is that they got better ones and they can't fit anymore.
you can't say better. Nobody knows
They can't
because
say
you got to
better.
remember nobody
Bama
decides.
thinks they're the better ones.
Hans, you're
But also,
missing
look,
it.
Hans,
You're missing
Hans.
it. You're missing it.
Yeah.
People are ranking these players, and some 3-star players are actually better than 5-star
Yeah,
players.
so that's you
No,
gotta,
I'm
you gotta
saying
the rank-
Bama.
I don't even think it's really
who
the
they
ranking too
want.
much because the ranking can be screwed. Like you gotta look at how many players be number 1 in high school, and
Yeah.
even going on the other side of the fence, basketball. Like you know what I mean, number 1 players in high school it is, and then they go to the league, or they don't even end up going to the league. So I think it's not the ranking part of it. I think it's more so where the talent is being founded and how they're getting the talent. Obviously, you're not going to have the means as an Alabama from a program standpoint to source to other students or to promote your program. So that's kind of like goes toward the coaches who actually kind of recruiting for real, like going out there. So I think it just depends. Like I think you could find a median in between, like give everybody kind of like the same playing field.
When they start paying these players, like
I think
like a cap.
That's another conversation. What I'm saying is though
conversation.
another issue is because you gotta look at how recruiting is done right now. These schools will send out, all their offers, all right, probably more offers than scholars that they can give, and then you have things like National Signing Day. So let's say Bama, remember they can only give out, you're saying 3, right? Let's say they gave out 5 5-stars. It's the first 3 that commit that get to go, and then the other 2 just goes to the win.
No, they pick out of the 5.
And then while they waiting for Bama to pick, what about if the other schools pick? The other big schools, and then the 2 that got left out, they got to end up at Tulsa.
I don't know.
I'm sure
they gotta go to the community college.
they gotta go play JUCO.
Teams like UF are going to be waiting to see if this man picks Bama or not. It's going to be like in a draft. Like if they pass up on somebody, they're going to be right there to scoop them up.
No, I feel like you can't do that. I don't know.
Oh, thank you, man. Because you
I feel
remember these
like
high school kids don't pick their own rankings, man. They just out there playing ball. You got to tell them that they can't go this and that.
exactly. I feel like to help like the playoff situation, I feel like they should schedule better non-conference games beginning the season, like Alabama versus Oregon, something like that.
That could work too. And then what the amount of games they win in a non-conference shows how competitive they can be, depending on the score.
Yeah, but that's another thing too. That's an argument. These small non-conference schools that the bigger schools schedule, it's helping
they do
out.
Need money. Exactly,
it's,
they do.
It's helping out the small programs because those programs, man, they don't have big ass stadiums with thousands and thousands and thousands of fans coming and paying tickets and buying merch. So they need these paydays from these big schools to help keep their program up and running. And so you get rid of that, man. It's hurting the game. It's hurting the game.
Not really getting rid of it.
Yeah, exactly. At least one good game, one non-conference game that's ranked.
I mean, like if it's like we said, if it's a school like UCF, to where it's like, okay, yeah, these like we're not out in the loop. Not like it's FAMU or somewhere. If it's FAMU, obviously because you're not in school, but like it's not like a school to where it's not known for football. So I feel like you could give those schools a couple more non-conference games. I feel like, or like schools who are actually in the rankings. Like I'm not saying just give it to anybody, but like schools who are in the rankings, make their way up. And like you say, just be less biased. I feel like with the rankings, like how college basketball, like they don't really look too much into your conference games because you play so many games. So like I said, it's kind of being a little less biased in the rankings because it's not a lot of 12-0 teams out there.
Yeah.
That's true. You're right.
Yeah. But, like I said, that's another subject for another day, talking about should these boys get paid? How these boys get paid soon? But we're wrapping up this episode, Got another episode dropping soon. Tapping in, we got a couple of things coming up. But, you already know where to find us. You can find us on YouTube and all other streaming platforms. It's the whole of podcast reloaded. If we signing out, catch y'all on the flip.
See y'all.
All right.